Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. I'm your host, Elena Fox. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you are on the time-space continuum, I hope that you're able to roll with the punches, or in this case, roll with the insane amount of changes taking place in your body, in your environment, in your world, in your family and friends, and in anything else that's rapidly changing in weird and mysterious ways. Now, I'm recording this earlier than I normally do, so you're going to hear a lot of construction and background noise, because that's just what's been going on during the day. Number 13 is out there making the house. It's like, is this his only shirt? It just must be his work shirt. It's like a long sleeve shirt. It's probably the only one he's got. Because, living at the beach, you don't need a lot of long sleeve clothing, except in the winter, But it's funny to me that this guy, they were out there for many days, and then suddenly he starts wearing this number 13 shirt, and now he's worn it every day for, Monday through Friday for the past 2 weeks. As soon as I mentioned it, I was like, what? That's so crazy. So really, really, really trippy things have been happening. Yesterday, I hopped a timeline between the first half and the second half of the show. And I'm going to tell you what happened, because this is freaking weird. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to mention, because if it's happening to me, chances are it's either happening to you or might in the future, soon even, maybe. So I finished the first half of the show, and I thought, well, I'm gonna, I think I grabbed a cup of coffee, and I was just thinking about it, waiting for the show to upload, sitting at my computer, at my desk with my tablet in my hand. Sorry about this sawing. I'm going to have to shut this door a little more. But the cat's outside because it's daytime. She does get to be outside for this. Hello, girl. It's okay. But, so anyway, we were, I'm going to leave the door open a little bit for you, yes? Okay, all right. I love you, girl. She's hanging out on the porch, which was shored up this morning by the landlord. Finally, it was leaning, and it felt uncomfortable to be out there, and he was able to push it up a little bit on the end, so it's not leaning as much. It's still leaning a tiny bit, but not like it was, thank God. So it felt a little bit more comfortable to be out there, and I'm waiting for him to get a specific kind of bolt to make it more stable somehow, but it's okay. He's like, you can walk around on it, just don't jump around yet. I'm like, okay, we'll save that activity for later. When I want to jump around later, hey, after it's good and settled, that bolt. So, all right, this is what happened. So last night I finished the show. I was waiting for it to upload. Had, made a little cup of coffee, only took a few minutes, and I'm sitting there at my desk. So, keeping my screen open, obviously, because I was queuing up the page while I was drinking my coffee and waiting for everything to be okay. Okay, oh, look, here we are, chapter 11, there we are, normal shit. And then I went to the bathroom, just a quick number one, nothing, no big deal. quick, number one, wash my hands, dried my hands off because I went to pet the cat. Don't want to pet her with wet hands, don't want to be rude. And so I went and I kissed the cat's head a few times, pet her. And I wasn't in my room more than a minute because I don't want to upset my cat to the point where she has to move because she was super comfortable. I just wanted to let her know I loved her and get out of there before she decides it's time to move because my mom's, annoying me now. So, not that big of a deal, right? Get back to my room, or to my computer. And now I've been gone for not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes tops, 5 minutes tops, okay? 3 to 5 minutes. No big deal. Get back to my computer. It's completely, not only was it the screensaver, it was just like shut off. I turn it back on, just like moving the mouse or whatever around. I mean, I literally schedule it to shut down after 1 hour of no activity. And this has been like 5 minutes, and I came back and the Google Chrome was completely shut down. I had to re-log in to my computer and nothing was queued up at all. And it had only been a couple minutes. That's how I know I hopped a timeline, because on the other timeline, I hadn't done the introduction yet. And yet the introduction was there because somehow my tablet was with me. I don't know how this works, but this multidimensional shit is really hard to navigate when you become aware of it. And I don't know how it all works, but my introduction was there. It was one I remember giving, maybe because I don't even know what. My voice, I don't even know what. So that was the first thing that happened that was weird last night. The second thing that was weird that happened last night, I still don't, I don't know. I must have hopped a timeline or a couple. Let me ask. Prime Creator, did I hop a timeline last night in my sleep? More than 4? More than 3? 4. I hopped 4 timelines. I mean, I woke up feeling like a completely different person yet again with higher vibrational energy that I now have to adjust to. But what happened was, okay, now I'm getting new information. Okay, so this is what Prime Creator is telling me. When we hop timelines and we wake up and we've only slept 3 or 4 hours and we feel like we've been sleeping for a lot longer, it's because that body we hopped into went to sleep earlier. Okay, that makes a little more sense to me. So what happened was I wanted to have a good long sleep, but I couldn't sleep until 6 o'clock in the morning because I just feel unsettled lately. Just going to bed has made me feel very unsettled. I need to make sure I see the beginning lights, from the light from the sun, the beginning energy of, okay, the sun's coming back. We're going to be okay. Even though I know obviously the sun's going to come back every day. I just feel, sometimes I don't feel comfortable sleeping in the dark. And I mean, I've got night lights, but there's something about that energy. It's like I want to be up. I want to be available and awake during the nighttime hours. Sometimes in case ghosts need me and they need to go over to the other side. They always contact me at night usually. It's very rare that I get contacted by a spirit during the day. But another thing that I just remembered last night, when I was hopping that timeline, there was someone in my kitchen rattling a dish. My cat was asleep on the bed and I was in the bathroom washing my hands. It was right before I turned on the faucet to wash my hands. I heard someone rattling the dish. My cat's dish, which was not even on the counter. It's in the dish rack. It was in the dish rack, not drying, but I don't really have a storage closet for my dishes. So I was like pausing a little bit, like, oh shit, someone's in my kitchen, and my front door had been locked. So there's only one way in and out of my apartment. It's my sliding glass door, and nobody was in here. Like, I don't even have a neighbor But the neighbor that lives downstairs, she's out house sitting for the next several months. The guy that was living here a few weeks ago, he's already gone. He's never coming back, probably. Even my landlord said he's not even invited back. Like, even if he does come back, when he said he said, I'll be back in 10 days. And he's like, I don't think he's ever coming back. He said, in fact, last night he said, take his water bottle. Might as well, it's like $2 worth of water. It was like, actually, I don't know, $1.75 worth of water. He drank a little of it. I'm like, hey, I got a new water bottle because it cost $8 to get a new one. So now I've got two. So yay, I could get my water situation a little bit more under control. So now I have 2 weeks worth of water every month. I only have to pay twice instead of 4 times to get my drinking water for my cat and me. But so that was weird, and I was afraid almost. The energy had fully shifted. Like, I had hopped a timeline, my energy was shifting in my body, and I walk in here and no one was in here. I didn't hear anything after the dish moving once. And I'm gonna make the sound. I'm gonna try to recreate the sound that I heard. So I got the dish in my hand. This is what I heard. Just that. It was just like that. And the cat did not wake up. Usually when she hears that sound, she comes running like a shot out of a cannon because it's tilapia time. Do, 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 tilapia time. Because she knows when she hears that noise, it's either saucer milk or tilapia time. So, she didn't even wake up. She didn't even lift her head. She was just like, whatever. And I don't know what it was. I asked God, and God said it was a fairy in here hanging out. And so I said hello to the fairy, and then I felt like it was in here, but there was a presence. It was definitely a presence, but then it left. And that was it. So anyway, but the weird thing that happened, the really, really weird thing that happened last night, I go to bed, and it's 6 a.m, I go to bed, and I thought, well, 8 hours from 6 is, I'm going to be waking up around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not terrible because I get the show done by midnight and I have a reading to do today. And I thought, okay, all right, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to put music on for 8 hours, and it's the playing in another room music, which I love. Nemo's Dreamscapes. It's super relaxing. It's not a vibratory type of, it's not binaural beats or the vibration ones, because I always make sure that it doesn't go to the next one. When I do the high vibration ones, I do 12,000 hertz frequency. Anything below that lowers my vibe, and I don't like that. So when people are saying, oh yeah, the heart chakra frequency is 432 hertz, it's like, I'm sorry, mine is like between 12,000 and 13,000 hertz frequency. Because that's what I vibe to. That's what makes me feel like relaxed, happy, joyful, amazing. 432 for me is way below my energy field. So, and I'm doing muscle testing, and God's telling me, yeah, that's true. Because I've been really, really, really raising my vibe and working on it. And like before, I couldn't even hear 13,000 hertz frequency. Now I can hear it. In fact, I even listened for 15,000 hertz frequency. And when I tried this like a while back, I couldn't hear it. And now I can hear that. That's freaking crazy, because no one can hear that usually. But our bodies are changing. We are learning and growing and changing and raising up in vibration. And as we do, we can see colors that we couldn't see before. We can hear sounds we could not hear before. We can feel and sense things we could not feel and sense before. We have the idea that we're hopping timelines, and we're aware of it consciously. We know where we came from. We know what's different. We know what happened in the world sometimes that is different now. I had a conversation with the incarnation of Archangel Barakael today, and we were talking, and he said that he read a book by Leonard Orr, Now, when Leonard Orr died, and I believe he died of cancer, that I dedicated that episode of my show to him, because he is or was very, very close friends with my friend Kyle, who I talk to all the time. They did a lot of new agey metaphysical workshops like back in the 1970s and the 80s. and my friend told me today, no, he died of like in a fire, like a house fire or a building fire where he was at. I'm like, no, he died of cancer. It was a conscious death. And he's like, that's another weird Mandela effect. That's really freaking weird. I mean, he had his conspiracy, like, oh, maybe they killed him, because he knew too much about, how not to die. I'm like, no, he died of cancer. And Kyle even told me he didn't take his own advice in his book, which was about living forever. He didn't totally do, usually when we're spiritual teachers, we will talk the talk. We don't always walk the walk. Or we'll walk the walk for a few minutes and then we lapse like everybody else does with every other thing, You move into a place with a swimming pool and you swim 3 or 4 times a week, and then all of a sudden you don't swim for 4 months and you're like, wait a minute, how am I living in a place with a swimming pool? I'm out of shape. Damn it, need to get back in that pool. It's typical human nature. You spend $1,000 on a home gym and then you work out, and 3 weeks later you're like, but I got Doritos and, my new show just dropped the new season and I'm going to take a day or two. Maybe I'll take a week off. 3 years later, you're putting that $1,000 home gym up for sale on Craigslist because you're like, fuck it. I'm not going to ever get back to that thing, that contraption, that newfangled. I'm just kidding. I've never done that, but I know that people do. It's a typical thing. Even with hot tubs, people put off their own pleasure. They I don't want to, I want to sit in the hot tub. I can't wait to have hot tub parties and blah, blah, blah. And then, they might get into it for a little bit here and a little bit there, and they realize it's hard to clean, it's hard to keep up, it's expensive, it's whatever. And then what happens? That's it. They spend thousands of dollars on a hot tub, and then a few years later you find it on Craigslist for $100 or free. You haul it. If you could get the truck, you can have it for free. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, if you check Craigslist or you check your local penny saver, I guarantee there's going to be home gyms and hot tubs. People put off their pleasure, and they also put off their workout pain. It's like the two extremes, right? And the things go together. Like, gosh, if you had a hot tub after you worked out every day, you'd be feeling freaking amazing. But it's just human nature. But so there's another Mandela effect. It was like, whoa, how did Leonard Orr die? God bless him. God rest his soul. And God bless his wife. I think I even wrote her an email. I think I had a conversation with her when he died, and I sent my love and condolences and stuff. But because I didn't know him, but my friend Kyle was trying to get me to have a conversation with him about opening a spiritual retreat healing center down here in South America, because he was looking to get out of the States and he was interested, and he had been in Australia as well. But they were thinking opening up something amazing in South America could be, not only awesome, but, a little bit lucrative, but also it would just be like another foothold on another continent. And we were kind of tossing the idea, Kyle and I were tossing the idea around. We're probably going to do it. We might get Leonard's wife in on it. I don't know. We're thinking maybe we can do something and, share the wealth and spread the information and the love, and long after the pandemic crap is over. But so anyway, we had this thing that was going on with some So yeah, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm distracted because I'm like, shit, my coffee water is ready. And so I'm going to pause this and pour my coffee. Hold on a minute. Okay, never mind. I guess it cooled off again. I shut it off and then I was like distracted because I'm like, oh, I better get the coffee made. And then I realized it was just starting to bubble up. It wasn't actually warm. And then I touched it and the water was cold. I don't know. I mean, that was like a few minutes ago, but it shouldn't have cooled off. I mean, maybe I just hopped another timeline while talking to you. No wonder I got confused and weird. And I'm breathing into the new energy because here I go. This has been really freaking wild. Okay, so what happened last night? So I put on Nemo's Dreamscapes and I found one that was particularly charming, and it was BioShock. It was for I think I did for 3 hours. I did the 3-hour one, or no, it was an 8-hour one. I did the 3-hour one later. So yeah, I did an 8-hour one. I figured 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 hours later will put me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So when I wake up, I could kind of tell the time just from laying in bed, because I have the music playing in another room, literally, but it's also called playing in another room. And it was just like, it's like a cartoon of like cats sleeping or something, is the image. It's actually super, super relaxing. And I put that on. The cat seems to not get angry at this music, Some music really just infuriates the hell out of her. The Sex Pistols, you can't play that around my cat. She'll scratch your eyes out. Hip hop, rap, gangster rap, she loves all that. But no, she likes punk rock, but not the Sex Pistols. I'm like, why? I love the Sex Pistols. But no, you can't have that around. But this music is very relaxing. It's kind of old fashioned, kind of dreamy, sweet, sort of, singing about why I love you and you're sweet, you're wonderful, I love you. It's like very sweet, innocent, wholesome kind of lyrics that I can stand to hear and listen to while I'm, sleeping, because I don't want to listen to lyrics that might be negative or something, right? So it's very kind of a high vibration, lilting, lofty kind of energy. And it's muted, so you can barely make out the words, but at the same time, it's got a good vibration to it. It's just neutral, right? So 8 hours, I was going to listen to this while I sleep. I'm going to go in for a long sleep here. And I figure if I wake up and it's not playing, one of two things have happened. I've slept more than 8 hours, or I have had my internet shut off and it stopped, because that happens sometimes. I'm in Ecuador and it's not perfect internet. So I figured, okay, I'm going to wake up and it's going to be time. Like if there's no music, then maybe it's time to get up. I've been asleep for 8 hours. So I went to bed at 6 a.m. I woke up at 9 a.m. and the music had stopped. And I thought, oh man, the internet went out. I come into the room and I look at the computer, and all 8 hours of this music that I put on played. How the hell did that happen? 8 hours of music. It's said from the beginning to the end. So, okay, and this is insane, the only other explanation, if I did not hop a timeline, if I did not move up to a timeline in which I went to bed at 1 o'clock or maybe even midnight, and good for me if I did that. What a way to cheat at sleeping time, right? So how the hell did it move up 8 hours? So I'm looking at my keyboard. There's no pause. There's always a paw print if she's been touching the computer. And she was cuddling with me the whole time, or at least on the bed the whole time, because I can feel her energy. She puts her little paw on my foot if she's sleeping at my feet, so I know she's there. Or she'll just slump across my neck and we will cuddle, or I'll hold her in my hands. That's our latest thing. She's been having me hold her in my hands with her head bent down into my hands and keeping her little nose warm because it's been kind of cold. So the cat was with me, I would have to say, almost all the night. There's no obvious signs of her paw touching. Usually there's a paw print, like, dust. She always puts, for some reason, she always puts dust on the computer in a paw print shape. So nope, nothing like that. And so the only thing I could think of is that the fairy that was in here rattling the dish moved the music over, clicked it to the end of the 8 hours. But that makes no sense. Why would it, one world doesn't really affect the other world like that usually, and that takes a lot of freaking energy to materialize, to touch a material object. So that makes no sense either. So the only thing that I could say is that was, for me at least, proof that I have to timeline. Went to bed at 6, put on an 8-hour musical thing, woke up 3 hours later, and there's 5 hours of missing music. But it was off. It was at the end. And I started it at the very beginning. All right, so that's another one. I mean, like I told you, a lot of the examples that you could come up with in your life about how you're hopping timelines are super mundane. Like, I hopped a timeline and my thumbnail was, cracked. Then I hopped a timeline and it wasn't cracked. So now I don't have to clip my fingernails. And then I hopped a timeline and now it's cracked again. I mean, it's just so strange. There's a chip in my nail, like really weird, mundane, almost boring details. But the details are different, just slightly, ever so slightly from your memory of, and even when you talk about it, and I've got proof because I talk about these things on my show. And then the next day I could go back and go, wait a minute, that was weird. Now there is a, oh gosh, I'm going to have to go look at the name of it. But on Facebook, a friend of mine who is an archangel incarnate, Remiel, she's incarnate, and she wrote the archangel group, and she said, okay, look, my friend took these pictures and these are really, really freaky. And it is about the earth. In fact, I'm going to pause this for a second and go look up the name of this Facebook group so you guys can go look at these pictures. Okay, the name of the Facebook group is Earth Unreal. Earth Unreal. And it's 2 separate words, just normal Earth Unreal. There's no punctuation or dashes or anything. It's just Earth Unreal. It's a Facebook group. And okay, these are pictures that were taken in Florida, and I am blown away because what I've seen in my visions when I've channeled Prime Creator about what the 5th dimension looks like is exactly what you see in these pictures. It is a blue sky with puffy white clouds, but the clouds are weird. They're like square or rectangular, or like it's almost like a scroll shaped. So every picture of the clouds around this object is very odd. But the object, it looks like clouds, but they're shaped like a crystal cluster, like a quartz crystal cluster, and every single one of them is a multiple rainbow color. So, like, one of them is green and blue and brownish and orange, and then another one is pink and orange and yellow and purple, and then another one. So you get the picture. Like, they're all just random colors, and they look like rainbow crystals in the sky, like a cluster of crystals. Now, I didn't count the fingers of them, but it looked like 7 or more of them. And I was like, whoa, I've got to see these pictures. And I looked and I looked and I looked and I studied these pictures, and it looks unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And I'm looking at spaceweather.com all the time, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what the hell that is. but it just looks like a giant cluster of crystals appeared in the sky, and they're rainbow colors. And she took, every minute or so, she took a different picture. And right now they're purple and pink and orange. And then all of a sudden they're green and blue and luminescent turquoise. And then in the next picture, they're orange and gold and yellow and like gold. And then in the next picture, they're a different shape again with a different kind of color. Like every picture is absolutely stunning and also shocking. Earth Unreal. It's a Facebook group. You should go check it out. So I asked God, okay, Prime Creator, I need to know what the hell this is. Is this a UFO? The answer was no. Is this the Arcturians? The answer was no. Is this space weather? Answers no. Is this some kind of a weird space anomaly like called ice crystals in the sky? The answer is no. I'm getting no to all these things. And I said, God, is this a glimpse of what the fifth dimension looks like? And the answer was yes. I said, what is this? Really? And God said, welcome to the fifth dimension. And that blew my mind. And when I told that to my Archangel group, Archangel Remiel, she said, I was listening to you saying the words, God's love, when I saw your message come up. And she burst into tears. She's like, oh my God, this is real. Like, it's really real. Like the dawning of it being real, the dawning of it happening. Like all of these crazy Mandela effects and all the personal Mandela effects, all of the, like what did I say a week ago when I ate and I was really full, and then I hopped a timeline and I still had pizza in the fridge. And so I'm like, okay. And so I ate that like a bonus. Then I hopped a timeline again, and it was like I was full, then I wasn't, then I was full again. It was like weird, it was like, wow, I ate all the pizza, then there was like another pizza left again. Like, okay, am I going crazy? I know I just ate 2 pieces of pizza, I'm full, and then wait a minute, I'm not full at all, and there's an extra piece. Wait, it's like, am I cracking up? Am I going mad? Like, what the hell? But the fact that other people are going through this makes me at least feel quite a bit relieved. Like, oh, well, thank God. Thank God. At least, there's been other things too. I can't remember them right now, but other things where, I've had conversations with somebody, and then I hop a timeline, and then they're asking me the same questions that they asked me a few days before. It's like, well, we already had this conversation. That kind of thing is happening a lot. No, we didn't. No, we never talked about that. We mentioned we were going to talk about it. We mentioned something about it, but we didn't talk about that exact thing. But I remember talking about that exact, clearing of your energy type of thing. So I wanted to quickly, as fast as I possibly can, go over some things with you guys. This is my final week of season 4. Okay, so Friday is the last show of the week, the last show of the season. And then I'm going to take about 6 weeks off. And then when I come back, we're going to do 6 weeks of the show. We're going to do 60 episodes again of the show, putting me at about either Christmas Eve or a week before Christmas Eve. Like basically a week before Christmas, I'll end the show either on the 17th or the 24th of December. But for right now, this is the end of season 4 this week. This is the last Tuesday we're going to have for a while together. And I'm excited. Like, it's like 2:00 now. I'm like, I'm wide awake. Because apparently the body I hopped into had already slept 8 hours, obviously. And then I even went back and then I did a 3-hour Bioshock, and I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't sleep. You know why? This body already slept. That's crazy that this is happening, man. But I wanted to quickly go over it again because some of you are new. Some of you haven't heard the episodes because some of you skip around. You don't hear every single episode. So when you clean your aura, when you clean yourself, other than your physical body, obviously, clean yourself in the shower or whatever, for your physical body. But when you cleanse yourself, make sure that you get your chakras, your aura itself, as well as your different bodies. I call them the Pepsi bodies because it's easy to remember, physical, emotional, psychological or mental, and spiritual individual bodies. So I always imagine my body separating out. If I close my mind, I close my eyes and I open my my third eye, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking that before me is 3 bodies. And the spiritual body, that to me is the astral, the ethereal, all of the different components of the spiritually related. There's some systems where there's 3 extra bodies besides your physical. Some systems there's 5, some systems there's 7. It gets really confusing if you start looking around for this information. So I just say Pepsi, so anything that is mental, anything, so that's the psychological body, anything that's emotional, that goes into the emotional body, and anything that's spiritual related, whether it's your ethereal body, your astral projection body, or, whatever, it to me, it's all combined, right? Because in reality, it's all combined in your physical body anyway. So I separated out in my mind's eye. I see 3 different glass containers that look like me, but they're clear glass. And I imagine that inside the glass containers, floating around, all the things that I've been, so in the mental body, all the things I've been thinking about, in the psychological body, all the things I've been thinking about, on a mental level. In the emotional body is all the emotions I've been feeling, and I store that in my emotional body, so you kind of get the picture. And in my spiritual body, that's usually pretty clear. But in case I have any spiritual attachments, or which I never do anymore, thank you God. But I open up the feet at the bottom of these glass containers in my mind's eye, and I just let everything drain out. And if you want to imagine that it's liquid because you're more interested in water and that's your element, you could it just pours on out like liquid. And then from the top, I open up the crown chakra in each of the Pepsi bodies, and I imagine it's pouring in. It could be like white liquid, like not like milk, that's gross, but like, just an energy, liquid energy, just pouring in. You can imagine it as smoke if you're more interested in air. You could even see white flower petals if you're more interested in earth element. So you can do it as just energy, or like lightning if you are more interested in spiritual energy. So, just to, make it tailored to your individual taste. But I plunge down all the negative stuff out with the new energy coming in. It's like a plunger, just shove that bad energy out the bottom of the feet, allow it to go into the earth so the earth can transform and transmute that energy. So I take a deep breath and cleanse my physical body. Take a deep breath and I cleanse my psychological body. Cleanse my emotional body. And cleanse my spirit body. And then I imagine then I do another pass. Take a deep breath, pull in extra white light for all the bodies. So physical body filled with white light. Emotional body filled with white light. Mental or psychological body filled with white light. Spirit body filled with white light, and that's the individual bodies of myself. And then I imagine them all going back together. So now it's three containers in one. And then I pull that into my physical body again, and I feel clean. Now I go through my chakras like it's drawers on a 7-drawer dresser. You don't really need to cleanse your other 5 chakras, although you can do it, also. But the physical ones in your physical body, you open the drawer, cleanse it out, make sure there's nothing there. There's no affirmations. There's no beating yourself up. There's no negative thoughts. There's no attachments of entities or spiritual whatever. There's no meditation wealth guide. There's no bullshit from other people. Open each drawer, cleanse it out with, I always do like a breeze like a big white energy breeze just comes out. Or you could do water if you're a water element, flowers or scents of flowers or smoke from burning sage in your mind's eye, okay? But it's clear energy. Don't actually burn sage and don't attach it to your chakras, right? So I just do all 7 drawers, just 7 all the way up. And it could take you 2 hours, it could take you 5 minutes, just depends on how long you've been doing it and how fast you want to get it done. Just cleanse it out, cleanse it out, close those drawers, seal them so other things cannot attach, cannot come to you, cannot, do shit with you. You don't want anyone to mess with you. Even if it's a well-intentioned, let's have a group meditation. Yeah, you go to a group, you have 100 people in the room. How many of those people are healed people? Only healed people heal people. Hurt people hurt people. Are you a sponge and an empath? You want to pull in their energy? No, you do not. Cleanse yourself. Keep yourself cleansed. Now, above all of that, put yourself in a situation where you are living in a giant 30-foot egg in every direction, and it's powerful and it's white light that is protecting you from everything around you. Extend that light, extend it out. I mean, you might want to start off with the foot around your body, then 3 feet around your body until that's like 30 feet in every direction. And cleanse that and cleanse your aura in the water. Roll around in the snow when we get snow. Roll around, that's water, and it's also super fun. Go make snow angels, and you're really cleansing your aura. Go hop in the bathtub or the swimming pool, or spritz yourself with an aromatherapy spray. Be careful around your cats and dogs, though, and birds. Especially birds are very sensitive to this stuff. But go and stand in the ocean. Ground yourself in the ocean. Ground yourself in the water. Eat ground beef. That grounds me. If you're a vegan, stay vegan, obviously. If you're an alcoholic, don't drink, beer. But beer sometimes grounds me too. Just have half a glass of beer. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel good. Put the top back on and I save it in the fridge for a couple days. I don't drink very often, but when I do, it's with things that will be healthy for my body. And I make sure there's like no spirits attached to the spirits. I don't drink hard liquor like hardly ever. Although I should go get whiskey when you're sick. If you do get sick, grab a little shot of whiskey. But I don't get sick, thank you God. Just basically knock on wood for that one. A little bit superstitious there right now. If you imagine that you're healthy and whole, you're going to be healthy and whole. But there might be subconscious crap or things in your chakras or in your aura, or you hear something and it goes into your subconscious mind and your subconscious mind accepts it to be true. And then suddenly you're, having an issue. Also, trust in Allah, but always tie up your camel lest someone steal it. So, still use hand sanitizer, still do things that are good for yourself. Bathing is good, aromatherapy is good. But I just wanted to bring up this, for my final week, I cleanse my aura, I cleanse my chakras, I cleanse the Pepsi bodies. I try to keep everything clean. If you want to cleanse a situation with another human being, use the Ho'oponopono process. These are the 4 things. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. Forgive me. Please. I love you. I'm sorry. You don't have to say the things in order. Please forgive me, as you do have to say it like that. But mix and mash them up. You don't have to say them always in the exact same order. But you're not talking to the person. You're just saying it. When you fall asleep at night, if you need to cleanse a situation, that's how you cleanse it. I've gone over it. Go over my Ho'oponopono process episode, because it explains what all the phrases mean, and you say them to God. And if you are cleansed in all of your situations, and in your chakras, your aura, your Pepsi bodies, and in all your relationship situations, and in your housing, and in your finances, and everything is fine, when you lay in bed, you just say, God, 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 God. You just focus on how much you love God, how much you love that connection, how much you are loved, how much you do love. If you don't like that word, you can use another word. Goddess, goddess, goddess. Divine Mother, Divine Mother, Divine Mother. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father. Whatever you want. I say God because Jesus said to say God in the Masters of the Far East, Book 3. So, as I do that, I'm hopping timelines left and right, and I keep going up, 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 up in vibration. And it's been wonderful. It's been a crazy journey because I just described some of this stuff to you guys, but I just want you to know that these are things that you can do to feel better. If you are an empath, especially, every time you leave the house, every time you're around other people, I would say try to do these once a day minimum, twice a day, if 3 times if you are around people, if you have to work, if you're around people, if you go out grocery shopping, if you go to a gathering. You know, not everybody in any gathering anywhere, not everybody in that gathering is going to be emotionally cool, emotionally safe, spiritually aware. Right? And they might be hurting, and you walk by them and you soak up their energy like a sponge. If you're an empath, you might be sucking up that energy, and now you feel like crap, but they feel great around you. Oh, and can I get your number? They'll say. You're like, I gotta go. I got a meeting. I got a meeting to ground myself and get your energy out of my body. Glad you feel good. I mean, it happens a lot to me, or I just go around people and it's like, ugh. But I also have noticed it much more recently as I'm doing these cleansings constantly. I am noticing that I am attracting people that have more of an awareness of what's happening in the world. And I am attracting people that are healers themselves. Like the last 2 real conversations I had with people that weren't serving me pizza, you know, or handing me beer or whatever, were people that were actually massage therapists. It's so weird. It's like, wow, I'm actually meeting healers. Today, I cannot stop without saying Happy Independence Day to the country of Ecuador. I live on 10th of August Street. And today is the 10th of August. This is the day in which we are celebrating our independence from the Spaniards, I believe. Let me see. I'm gonna pause this for a minute. It might be from the Inca, actually. So let me go check it out. All right, yeah, 1809 was the year, 10th of August, that Ecuador first claimed their independence from the Spanish crown. They say, de la corona española. and now he's in the world trying to stop a different kind of crown right now. I mean, this shit's been going on in one form or another for a lot of freaking, for millennia. A lot of freaking time. Yeah, from the Spanish crown. So today is pretty damn big. This is 107 years that Ecuador has been free from the tyranny of the Spanish crown, basically. So yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually. All right, so there is a lot of interesting things we need to get to as far as the space weather is concerned, and then we'll get into tonight's show. And right now, I don't even know what tonight's show is going to be. I had something planned, but my friend who thinks he was abducted was going to talk about it. Now he's like, I don't think I could talk about it right now. It's too soon. And I'm like, ooh, I totally get it. I mean, it took me decades before I could talk about it out loud to another human being, let alone out loud in a public forum, which I'm doing now. So I get it. It's okay. So I don't know what the show's going to be. By the time the show is published, you all know, because you're going to see the title of the show. I myself don't even know what I'm doing yet for tonight. But there's some really crazy shit going on in the world right now, in the sky, in our skies. So, all right, here we go. According to spaceweather.com, the current solar wind speed has picked up. It's 446.3 kilometers per second. So let me go down here. It doesn't say anything about it that we're inside a coronal episode of the sun, I mean. It says, in fact, there's no significant equatorial coronal holes on the Earth side of the sun. There's like nothing. There's no solar wind. I mean, there's holes. I'm looking right at the holes where they say there's nothing. But there's nothing significant. There's nothing flowing our way. So, wow, there's that. So, yeah, solar wind speed, 446.3 kilometers per second. I think we're getting a little solar wind, but it's not significant. So, I don't know. It's just like a feeling I get. Anyway, there's a rare naked eye nova. It took astronomers by surprise. The white dwarf star exploded 2 days ago, and it produced a rare naked eye nova. The dwarf star is cannibalizing a nearby red giant, using the star's outer layers as fuel for the blast. And there's a full story if you want to go check it out on spaceweather.com, and you can see it in the southern sky after sunset if you want to go check it out. Now, I believe if we could see it, that energy is coming our way. So we have nova energy coming our way. Like explosion of a star. That's something that's cosmically hitting us. And this hits us every 20 years because even though if what's hitting us physically is not what we're seeing, but it's physically hitting us, it might be, from 100 years ago or, 1,000 years ago. I don't know how far away this thing is, but every 20 years it's hitting us. It's interesting, right? It's other energy that we can use to go up one and increase our physical vibration. And we can learn the lessons and the downloads and the light codes contained therein and allow it to change our DNA in positive and illuminating ways so that we can become more enlightened. That's what we do. That's it, it was something, a hunch I've been saying for like 2 years, and it just was mentioned that this is kind of what happens. The cosmic energy comes our way, and when we're aware of it and we pull it into our bodies consciously, it helps us spiritually grow. And that's what Jesus mentioned in the third book of the Masters of the Far East. It's true. Something I always suspected, and here we go. It's actually real. Wow. That's pretty cool. All right, so there's a really incredible picture of a Perseid meteor and sprites. In the late summertime, we have powerful thunderstorms that go across the U.S. and Mexico. And at this time, there are specks from, the comet Swift-Tuttle, as they're saying here, that's peppering Earth's atmosphere. So many salty jokes there. The stage is set for close encounters like this, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprites, it looks like. Astronomer Stephen Hummel took this picture from the McDonald Observatory in Texas. He was photographing sprites, and then the Perseid meteor appeared. This is an incredible picture. Like, how cool is that? He got a twofer. 2 for 1. Took one picture of one thing, and another thing popped up in the... It's like, oh, you think that's great? Well, look at me. Oh my God. It totally smashed into his picture. It's pretty cool. It's this bright green fireball with a yellow streak in front of it and behind it, next to it looked like 6 different sprites above the thunderstorm, the thunderclouds. It's pretty interesting. It photobombs, basically. The Perseid photobombed the bunch of sprites. And it's pretty interesting. So the sprites are energy. It's like red, bright red lightning, kind of, that goes on top of thunderheads, on top of thunderclouds. And it's been very often happening a lot more in recent years, I think. Even though it's always happened, I think it's a lot more of it. So, I don't know. It's something I'd never heard of until recently, in the past year or so. Anyway, we're in solar cycle 25. As you know, the 48-hour change of the Ulu neutron counts, it's gone up by 0.6%, so we're getting a little bit more cosmic radiation than usual. Might be some of that good nova energy, possibly. Now, according to All Sky cameras from NASA and their All Sky Fireball network, there were 64 fireballs over the United States today. 43 were sporadic, 15 were Perseids, 3 were Delta Aquarids, 2 were Alpha Capricornids, and 1 was a Southern Iota Aquarid. That is crazy. Looking at the trajectories of this, it looks like a big, messy ball of yarn. It's pretty crazy. 64 fireballs. So go outside and look up. Bring some popcorn. Take a blanket and your sweetie and go watch God's nature. All these beautiful fireballs. It's so beautiful. I love watching stuff like this. I always love looking at the sky. So, according to heartmath.org, their data is temporarily unavailable, probably because all the wild and crazy energy that's going on around the globe right now. I don't know if you guys feel it. The energy is really, really something else. Right now, the Schumann Resonance in Italy is going off the charts. Again, shaped like an angel's wing. Just saying, it's strange when it does this shape specifically. But yeah, so right now in Italy, they've reported, according to disclosurenews.it, power 71, 79, and 80. Keeping in mind, this one's always hovering around the 7.83, which is normal as a baseline for the Schumann resonance frequency. So we're going up 10 times what's normal in Italy, which means these other numbers are going to be pretty high up when we get Heart Math Institute back online, because their numbers are always very high in the hundreds, in the 300s, 400s, sometimes as high as I've seen it in the 700s. But the highest number I've ever seen was out of Italy when it hit 6,000 hertz frequency a couple months ago and then came back down to baseline. But this is pretty crazy. 71 hertz frequency, 79 and 80 coming out of Italy. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back, which I'm actually going to set this down and I'm going to go eat something and I'm going to reheat this water, have another cup of coffee, and figure out what the hell to do for the show, because I really don't even know. But when I come back, you will already know. You'll already be halfway done at the show. And then I'm going to just finish the show, and there it is. So that's it. I don't even know what I'm going to do. It's so weird. It's weird when I do this. I feel like I'm flying blind at the end of the introduction. I'm like, what is the show about? I don't even know. Am I going to do channeling? God says no. Feng Shui? No. Witchcraft? No. See, I don't even know. You have inside information that I don't even have right now. How does it feel? The shoe's on the other foot, guys. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, the second half of Tuesday's show, right after this. All right, guys, so I've hopped another timeline since I finished the introduction. Oh my God, it's just everything feels like it's accelerating super, super fast for me. And if it is for me, then I'm pulling you all with me. We're all going together, you know, or maybe there's someone else pulling me and all of us together. Maybe it's just all of us pulling each other, which I think is maybe more accurate to say. I've seen the weirdest articles today. 1 month after I started the apocalypse in April 2019, apparently 2 black holes collided and created a jiggle across all of time and space. Now, I'm not saying I did that, because that happened in another part of the universe, but I just find it odd timing. In fact, it was Archangel Remiel who mentioned this, and she's like, God, that's very odd timing. And it reverberated throughout the whole cosmos, and it makes me think that there were possibly other beings on other planets that also started some kind of a process. And the black holes were just one thing. There's a lot of other things that happened as well across the universe, because it's not just Earth that's ascending, by the way. It's the whole universe is going up a level. We're all going one up on the stairway to heaven. We're all taking one step in advancement, in one dimension, one hop up, one level, one rung up the ladder, whatever metaphor you want to use for this. It's very, very odd. So, I don't know. How do you tell when you've gone up a timeline? We're going to talk more later in the week about timelines, but what I've noticed in my observations today and talking to other people who've experienced it and been consciously aware of it is when you're suddenly like, you glitch out, like you're just like on a mission, you're going to do something, and all of a sudden everything feels really weird. You've got to catch your breath, you're having heart palpitations, and you're just kind of like, and then you're a little bit foggy, and then things look a little strange, and the energy feels different, and you feel like you now have to adjust your energy, and you either have to eat something, or you have to sleep, or you have to just stop talking for a minute, because shit's different. Things are different. There's an energy I feel like I just walked into a place I've never been before, even though it looks identical to the room I was just in a few minutes ago. And it's the damnedest feeling. It feels crazy. It's like, I know I have a good memory. I know that I'm good and coherent and cogent mentally, but suddenly I'm walking into a room that I've never been in before. Even though I live here, I've been here for months. It's just that kind of a feeling that, those are the eggs that I purchased, and yet they don't feel like the eggs I purchased. Or, this coffee I'm drinking it tastes a little bit different than it did. And I feel like I hopped a timeline. It's the same exact coffee I bought. It's the same brand, but there's something slightly different. Like I've noticed even my coffee, like it has a slight more chocolatey flavor. It's actually a better flavor than it was 6 timelines ago. It's weird, but I told you guys things are improved by maybe about 2.5%. It's not a whole massive improvement. It's just very tiny. Most of the stuff you're not even going to notice. Like maybe the 2% that's different in this world is that the neighbor's car was a darker green in the past timeline, and now it's a little bit more bright, just slightly, or maybe, the kid next door has a stain on a shirt that's maybe just a little bit less big. It's a stain his grandma can't get out, and it's been there, and now it's just a little bit less than it was. So it's kind of like, oh, it's like an improvement, but it's not much, and it doesn't matter because it's still like a stain, or like the neighbor's car is still green or whatever. It's like things are there the way that they were, but suddenly they're a little bit like improved, but just slightly. It's really hard to explain, but I will tell you that I've noticed that for about a year I was hopping up timelines, but things were not improving socially for me very much. Like I'd get people once in a while writing to me, and then that's it. Or the men that would contact me that pretended that they wanted to be my friend would end up doing something stupid, like sending a naked picture and getting themselves blocked, those kinds of weird things, people, oh, hey, it's so nice to meet you, and I want to be your friend. And then next thing I know, they're sending things I don't want to ever see again. It's like, okay, that was awkward as hell. And like so far from like any kind of reality I want to live in, right? But as I improve myself and as I go up the timelines, I have noticed that I am making friends that are actually people that want to be friends with me, men and women. And even though like they haven't solidified as actual friendships in person yet, online I'm making a lot of friends suddenly. And I know that every time I improve just ever so slightly, like I've hopped up, gosh, like 8 or 9 timelines since Friday, and I've already been contacted by a couple of professional women. Like one of them is a filmmaker and director, and I was contacted by somebody else who's like a healer, and somebody else who's somehow in the spiritual community, and also like a healer or a counselor or something. And it's like high quality people who are here to help humanity ascend have contacted me and said, I just ran across your website, or I just came across your podcast, or I just came across your Instagram, and I really want to know you, and I want to be your friend. And I think that we can collaborate together, and I think we can, work together in the world in a way in which it's going to be beneficial for both of us and improve the lives of other people. So like these kinds of things, it's kind of crazy, but I've noticed it's going in leaps and bounds. And then there's other things that I've been really, really wanting to ask Prime Creator about that I haven't quite done it. So I'm going to sit down and do this for all of us, not just for me. And these are things that you may or may not even be thinking about, but things that come up on the show that's come up this whole past season. So I'm going to do Pendulum Dowsing, woohoo, which you already know because you've seen the title of the show when you clicked on it. But it took me hours to come up with this. I wanted to do this before, and then I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to ask. And then I finally just sat down to write the questions, and well, they practically wrote themselves. Okay, they actually didn't. I had to handwrite them out. So hopefully I'll be able to read my own handwriting. I'm already connected to Prime Creator, as I always am. I've got my handy dandy rose quartz crystal pendulum, which is on a, I don't want to say silver chain. It's a silver colored chain, and it has a very strange and heavy metallic smell to it. I smelled this in the middle of the night. I was holding it in my hand because I like the energy of the quartz crystal, and the metal scent got on my hand. So when I woke up in the middle of the night and I smelled the metal scent on my hand, I completely freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I think I was just abducted. Oh my God. And I started asking Prime Creator, was I just abducted? And is that the metal smell on my hand? And the answer is no. And I was like, oh. And then I realized, oh shit, it's the pendulum that smells this way. I'm like, okay, good. I just got a little carried away there. See, this is why I like muscle testing and dowsing, because you can ask the craziest questions of God. God's not going to judge you. I mean, God's the only one that is eventually going to judge you, but God's not going to think you're crazy, because every thought is acceptable when you're trying to figure shit out, is what I mean. So anyway, all right, so let's commence the Prime Creator Pendulum Dowsing session together. And I'm holding it over the page. I'm going to just ask in general, Prime Creator, am I connected to you? The pendulum is swinging in the up and down motion, means yes. So now we're going to the ready for question mode. Here we go. Prime Creator, are the plasma colors that people are now sometimes seeing actually glimpses into the fifth dimension, or are they something else? So the first question is, are they actual glimpses of the fifth dimension when people are seeing the pretty plasma colors that kind of look like puffy clouds of various colors, greens and purples and blues and pinks and oranges? And do I have permission to ask this question? Answer's yes. Okay, so are these plasma colors actually glimpses into the fifth dimension that people are seeing? waiting for it to go. We're starting to have movement. It's going to the maybe. Oh, okay, so it's maybe. So is there a way that we could definitively answer this question? Now it's going to no. So it's kind of like maybe. It depends on the person and depends on what they're seeing. And that's the answer that I'm kind of getting. All right. The cloud formation that I saw from Florida in that thing I mentioned in the first half of the show, one timeline ago, or two timelines ago, and they look like crystals in the sky. Do I have permission to ask if it's a glimpse of the fifth dimension? Okay, it's saying yes. Okay, so I'm holding it still again. Was that from the fifth dimension? I'm getting a yes. Okay, and now my next question is, was it aliens doing it? The answer is no, and it's a resounding no. It's going in a giant, very strong no answer, which is a counterclockwise circle. So, okay. And by the way, if you want to learn how to dowse for yourself, and I encourage you to do this, especially between the 4th and 5th season of my show, you're going to have about 6 weeks to figure this shit out, so now you have time, and you'd be listening to the show that, parts of the show you haven't heard. Letter to Robin. It's a PDF. If you want it, just write to me at mermaidgirl888 on Instagram. I will send you the link. It's absolutely free to download. I know the guy who wrote the book, and I met him after I read it. In fact, I got interested more and more in dowsing because of this book that I randomly found online. So, I'll send it to you for free. And he wants everyone to have it for free. He just wants everyone to be able to do pendulum dowsing correctly. So, anyway. Now, the next question, I'm not going to ask you more about the plasma colors. So the thing was a fifth dimension. It was just, oh, wait a minute. Let me ask the one question. So Prime Creator, was these things that you said were in the fifth dimension, in the cloud formation, is this something that we're going to start to see quite often? Are the clouds going to look like crystals in the sky and rainbows? And I'm getting a massive yes. And up and down, absolutely yes, yes, yes. Wow. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to get really, really freaking psychedelic. Anybody who never wanted to do drugs, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's going to be like doing drugs and we took nothing. All right, God, or Prime Creator, the next question is, in the fifth dimension, will people automatically stop aging? So once we're fully in the fifth dimension, will everyone's automatically stop aging, or will we age? No, we're gonna stop aging. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so get yourself as young as humanly possible before we get to the 5D, because then we're just gonna stay there. Okay, now the other question is, will people be able to reverse aging after we're in the fifth dimension? Are we going to be able to reverse our aging, like if we were already looking 70 years old? The answer is yes. That's good to know. Because I don't want to be like, okay, and actually, I want to know, will we be able to live longer in the 5D? And the answer is yes. So say if I was going to live 98 years normally in 3D, do I have permission to ask this question? Okay, on a percentage, how much percentage more will I be able to live? Like if you say 10%, then that means I can live to be 980 years old. So on a scale of 1 to 100%, if I imagine that scale below the pendulum, and I'm just putting this in my mind's eye now, will you tell me what the percentage is that we will be able to live longer than if we stayed in 3D? Okay, the answer is yes. All right, so what percentage will we be able to live longer from what we normally would have? Shit. Okay, so this looks like... Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so that's 50% longer. Is that 50%? So if I was going to live to be 100, I can now live to be 150? No. So it's 50 times longer. If you want, you can live 50 times longer. Holy Jesus. Do I even want to live that long? I guess if life is wonderful, sure, why not? I'm going nowhere. Okay. We might have to come back to that because I don't want to. Some of these questions are really intense, so I want to get to all of them. I didn't write that one down. I just was like wondering. 50 times. It's 50 times more. So if I'm going to live like 100 years, I will be able to live 50,000 years? No. Okay. I'll be able to live 5,000 years? Yes. Okay, I'm freaked out. Officially freaked out. That's... Who the fuck wants to live 5,000 years? Especially as all the animals. Okay, I don't know. We're going to get to the animal question I asked. All right. Woo. Yeah, see, the questions write themselves. I didn't write that one down. Okay. All right, Prime Creator, will we still be able to be affected by viruses and bacteria in our fifth dimensional forms? Do I have permission to ask this? Answer is yes. Okay. Will we still be able to be affected by viruses and bacteria in our 5D forms? All right. Well, it's saying yes. So we will be able to get sick in the 5D too. And the answer is yes. Okay, so a follow-up question to that. Will we be able to get healthier easier though? Will we need medicine to, and the answer is yes. Will we need medicine to overcome the viruses and bacteria? And the answer is no. We won't need medicine anymore, which is nice. But we'll be able to do it, but we have to do it with our minds. So will we be able to eradicate viruses and bacteria with our minds in 5D? I'm thinking yes. It's saying yes. Nice. Okay. I shouldn't have been thinking yes. I should think blankly nothing. So let me ask that again. Will we be able to cure viruses and bacteria in our minds in fifth dimension? The answer is yes. All right, cool. Now, sometimes I might ask this later and, ask a question later. And, it's as much as my mind is blank as the answer is yes or no, right? And plus, the answers are only on the timeline I'm on right now, unless they're across all timelines. So, God, will all these answers be across all timelines the same? The answer is yes. He's telling me now that physics does work the same in things, medical, everything works the same as it does across all timelines. It's not like taking a medicine is going to kill you in one life, even though it saves your life in all the other lifetimes, parallel universes. It doesn't work that way. So if you have asthma in one timeline, you have asthma in all the timelines because that's what you chose to have. And it's not like you take your inhaler in one life and it kills you, versus 10,000 other lifetimes it's fine and saves your life. It's never ever going to kill you unless it's not your actual inhaler or whatever, for example. All right, this is the next and most pressing. This is a conversation I've been having with Archangel Barachiel recently. So God, will we need money in the fifth dimension? Do I have permission to ask this? It's yes. Will we need money in the fifth dimension when we get there? Will we need money? And the answer is no. Wow, really? So will we be able to get basic income once we're in the fifth dimension? Yes. Okay, so let me and I'm getting a yes for that. So, okay. All right, so are we currently on the timeline in which we will all get basic income within 3 years? Because I asked this before, and the answer is yes. So is this why we won't need to make more money in 5D? And the answer is yes. Is it because we will need money in the fifth dimension, but we will have it? Well, do we need to make money in the fifth dimension? The answer is no. Will we automatically get money? And the answer is yes. Will we need to use money to pay for goods and services? Yes. Okay, that's why. Because he knew my follow-up question, because obviously I'm connected to him all the time. So, all right. So we will gain a basic income within like 3 years. And is that because of the virus but it will still be in effect after. So yes, it's because of the virus, and yes, because after we hop to fifth dimension, it'll already be in place. Which is, okay, so are we on the timeline in which the Pleiadians will contact us physically here on Earth with us by the year 2020? The answer is yes. Are they going to, 2020, oh my God. I hovered this over what I wrote was 2022, so sorry. Let me re-ask that. Okay, Prime Creator, are we currently on the timeline? And when I say we, by the way, I am qualifying this to be all of humanity on planet Earth right now. So are we on the timeline in which the Pleiadians contact us physically by the year 2022? And the answer is yes. Will they contact us before December of this year? The answer is yes. I know that they're starting to contact us, but will the greater majority of us have made contact with the Pleiadians by November of this year? The answer is no. Will the greater majorityans, oh my God, majorityans, what the fuck am I talking about? Will the greater majority of all humans be able to contact and talk to the Pleiadians within the next 2 years? I'm getting a no. Okay, so it's just some people will be contacted and the rest of us will not be contacted. That's a yes. So, but Pleiadians will contact humans physically, like a great amount of humans physically by Christmas of 2021. The answer is yes. I hope this is true. Now, is it possible that will change? No, the answer is no. That means it's definitely happening this year, which is good. All right. Are we currently on the timeline, Prime Creator, in which everybody will ascend physically in their physical body to the fifth dimension by the year 2025? Are we currently on the timeline in which everybody, all of humanity, will ascend to the fifth dimension by 2025? I'm waiting for it to go. Literally, I think he's calculating. Okay. And the answer is no. And I think that this is too ambitious of a question. And the reason is I just realized about walk-ins. Not everyone's going to ascend because not everyone's going to be here. So everyone that's here now is not going to be here when we ascend. Is that okay? Let me see. You got to recalibrate and recalculate. And you have to know how to ask the questions. And so I wrote that one very ambitiously. All right, Prime Creator, are we on the timeline in which everybody, after all of the negative and evil people and stubborn people that are not going to ascend, after the ones that are definitely not going to ascend have died or have had walk-ins come in, after that happens, will we then be on the timeline in which all the people that are going to ascend will ascend physically from the 3D to the 5D, fifth dimensional world, by the year 2025? Now I'm waiting for it to go. And that was a better question, and the answer is yes. So we have like 4 more years, basically. And is it before 2025? And the answer is no. See, I was feeling 4 years anyway. All right. So, here we go. The next one. Are the walk-ins high-level beings? The answer is yes. Are the walk-ins spiritual masters? The answer is yes. Are the walk-ins sometimes star seeds? The answer is yes. Are the walk-ins sometimes archangels? The answer is yes. And, okay, so are all of the walk-ins spiritual masters? The answer is no. So people that are spiritual from other places, including heaven, and spiritual masters who have died or are in their higher vibrational bodies are going to be walking in physically to humans that are low vibration. I'm getting the yes. Now, okay, so, and I'm getting a massive, resounding, huge yes. Not a small pendulum swing, but a big one. All right, great. So, are the high-level spiritual masters and starseeds and archangels walk-ins inhabiting the bodies of the bad and evil people at this time? I'm getting a yes. Okay, so let me ask, what percentage of people have already been walked in to? Do I have permission to ask this? The answer is yes. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 100%, how many percentage of evil people have already been walked into? From like 0 in the beginning when no one was walked into for the humanity ascension versus now, how many people have already walked in is what I'm asking. Do I have permission to ask this question? Yeah, I'm allowed to ask the question. I got a yes. So, okay. So on a scale of 1 to 100, how many percentage of people, evil people, or bad people, or stubborn people that are definitely not going to ascend, how many of their bodies have already been overtaken by walk-ins at this point? 25%. It looks like 24 to 25%. Okay, so all right, so let me ask the next question. What percentage of people will be walk-ins by December? Do I have permission to ask? Okay, of all the people on the planet, what are the percentage of the people that will be walked into by Christmas of this year, 2021? I'm making my mind a blank, and it's starting to move. It looks like about 52%. Okay, 52%. So all the people that were rude and mean and crazy and whatever. Don't be surprised if half of the crazy people that are not crazy, but, the people that are mean and rude and, refusing to spiritually grow, refusing to see other people as actual, human beings that deserve respect and honor. 52% of those people are going to be inhabited by highly spiritually evolved beings people that are in the process of spiritually evolving by Christmas. We could not have asked for a better Christmas, I believe. So, the next question, Father, or Prime Creator, by what year will the walk-in program be complete? Do I have permission to ask this? It says yes. So by what year will all of the walk-ins be completely walked in? Will it be done by the end of 2021? I'm getting a no. Will it be done by the end of 2022? All right, so it should be that by the end of 2022, which is, in a year and a half, we shall have already gotten all of the walk-ins that we're going to get. So will we get any walk-ins? Hold on, let me pause this for a sec. I had to turn the page. So we're already half done with this half of the show, and I wrote a whole 2 pages full of questions, and so we're halfway finished with the questions I'd written. Okay, so all right, this is interesting, right? The walk-in situation. I hope you guys are fascinated by this as much as I am. So, all right, Prime Creator, the next question is, what percentage of the walk-ins are starseeds? Do I have permission to ask? Okay, on a scale of 0 to 100%. What is the percentage of starseeds in the walk-in program? I'm making my mind a blank, and I'm waiting. It's kind of going in a yes, and then it's starting to go in a percentage-ish. I mean, from the center of the circle down towards what looks like 45%. So it looks like 45% of the walk-ins are definitely going to be starseeds from other planets. All right, so now I would like to ask, what percentage of the walk-ins are spiritually evolved masters originating from Earth? Do I have permission to ask this? It says yes. All right, so what percentage of the walk-ins are spiritually evolved ascended masters that are that were human and originating from Earth? What percentage of people are in, or walk-ins are in that category? And I'm getting what looks to be 10. Oh, actually, that's more like 12 and a half, 13%, something like that. Is it more than 15%? I'm getting a no. Is it 13%? So like 13% are spiritually evolved ascended masters. So they're going to basically not de-evolve, of course, but they're going to lower their vibration enough to be able to inhabit these very low vibrational, as the beings leave, they're going to take over their body and physically be in that form and lift up the energy of those forms. And so, and the walk-in program is just so that we can raise the vibration of the planet so that we could physically evolve and physically go up to the fifth dimension with our physical bodies. It's the first time in the history of the universe that this has ever happened. So that's why we're just so involved with this. It's like so intense. Like, I can't stop thinking about this stuff. I'm thinking about it daily for the past 4 years. It's just overwhelmingly fascinating to me. All right, so what percentage of the walk-ins in the walk-in program are human or earth-based archangels? Do I have permission to ask? And the answer is yes. Okay, so what percentage, and when I say starseeds, by the way, those are people originating from other planets that are maybe from the fifth dimension or other, like it could be Syrians, it could be Andromedans, it could be Lyrans, Pleiadians, and the like. And they're walking into human bodies, and the people will be vacating those bodies. But see, instead of all the people dying, which is freaky, and it will lower all of our vibrations because we feel sad. Instead, we're just going to have the walk-ins come in and take over, and the negative spirits will be relieved of duty, as it were. So, okay. So what percentage of the walk-ins are going to be archangels originating from planet Earth? Do I have permission to ask? And the answer is yes. So what percentage of the walk-ins are going to be archangels originating from planet Earth? I'm getting an answer. It looks like 25%. Do I have permission to ask about this other thing? Okay, so what percentage of walk-ins are going to be archangels from other planets? And I'm getting like 45 to 50%. So it's like archangels from other planets, like starseed archangels. Jeez. This is something I just learned about recently. So, okay, all right. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone talking about archangels from other planets, just to be honest. Let me ask another question. Okay, Prime Creator, are archangels available? Do archangels exist on all other planets? I'm getting a no. Are archangels... What is the percentage in which archangels do exist on, or the angel-archangel hierarchy system? Do I have permission to ask how many planets, or what percentage of planets in the universe have an angel-archangel system? Okay, the answer is yes to that. So now I'm allowed to ask. So out of all of the universe and all the planets, what is the percentage of planets that actually have an archangel hierarchy in the universe? Wow, it's like very little. Looks like, so 30%. 30%, so only a third. Is that true? Okay, yes. So, and he's telling me they're on the low level third dimensional. Is that okay? Because with the archangel system, you have to have the demon system. Is this correct? And the answer is yes. Are there any planets that don't have demons but they have archangels? Yes. So is it possible you can have an archangel system that has no demons? Yes. So there's not always a rebellion. And the answers to that is no. So interesting. All right, stuff I didn't know. Okay. People from other planets, such as the Lyrans, are inhabiting cats. Yes or no? And the answer is yes. Are any other animals inhabited by former humanoids? Yes. Are dogs inhabited by former humanoids? I'm getting a no. I got a no yesterday from this, so I'm doing muscle testing, so yeah, I'm getting a no. All right, so are big cats such as panthers, lions, sometimes they're humanoid form? Yes. What about tigers and spotted cats? That's a no. So yeah, this is what I got yesterday. So panthers and lions can actually be humans in a past life, and now they're incarnating as that here to raise for the ascension, to raise the vibration of the planet. Because I've seen some animals that are just like, I've seen like lions, even tigers are actually, okay, this is another thing I want to ask. Tigers, are they just tigers? The answer is yes. But now there are tigers that meditate, correct? Yes, because they're already evolving spiritually before they're evolving in other ways. Yes, that's what I'm getting. Weird and cool. Awesome. All right, so all animals on Earth, even the insects, seem to be evolving disturbingly quickly, and they're starting to act like humans. Is this absolutely true? Is my perception? I'm getting yes, it is true. You guys, I saw a video before I started recording this of a bee beating up a hummingbird when they were both competing for the same flower. But you can't, the flower's off camera, but the bee was shoving the hummingbird away with all of its might, and the hummingbird was trying to keep its bearings. Like, it was kind of spasming out a little bit. It was one of the weirdest videos I've ever seen. I'm like, these are creatures that I think usually are peaceful, they're gentle, and now they're beating each other up in competition for the same pollen from the same flower. So God, I'd like to ask you, do I have permission to ask about this? The answer is yes. Has this always been happening and we didn't notice it before? The answer is no. Is this new? And the answer is yes. Is it because all creatures on Earth are evolving right now? Oh, that gives me the creepiest feeling. Even insects are evolving spiritually. I guess everyone moves up one. It's kind of disturbing to me. All right, so is this disturbing trend necessary? And the answer to that question is yes. Is it going to keep happening? And the answer is yes. Because I also have seen videos of sharks that were in trouble asking fishermen to help them, or people in boats to help them. I mean, are all animals suddenly having a higher vibrational consciousness? The answer is yes. That's freaking weird. Okay. I just dropped the pendulum. I'm just like so freaked out by that. Okay. Twin flames. Let's go to some twin flame questions. We have 20 minutes left here. All right. So twin flames. Do I have permission to ask about the percentage of twin flames that are already together now, or who, if they're not together, if they've broken up or they're taking a break or whatever, what is the percentage of all twin flames on planet Earth that have already met in person and started a relationship or are in the dance thereof. Do I have permission to ask this? So basically, twin flames who as adults have already either come together or have at least met and they know who each other is now in person. What is a percentage of that, please? Do I have permission to ask? I'm getting a yes. Okay, so what is the percentage of the twin flames that are already together or have already met in person? So we'll lump those together. So they already know who their twin flame is physically, in the physical. So what is the percentage of twin flames that already know and have met their person in the physical? All right, we're creeping up. It started to 50, now it's going to 75%. Yeah, 75%. Cool. Well, I haven't met my guy yet. I know who he is, though. I hope he knows who I am. All right. So what is the percentage of twin flames out of the remaining 25%? What is the percentage of twin flames that will be together by January 2022? We'll say, not out of the remaining 25, we'll just say out of all the twin flames on Earth right now, what is the percentage of twin flames that will be together by January 2022? So the 75% we already know, so it's got to be obviously more than that. So it looks like 87% will be together by January 2022. And what is the percentage of twin flames that will be together by December 2022? So by the very end of next year, or basically by January 2023, what percentage of all twin flames will be together, or at least know who each other is by then? I'm getting 100%. Okay, so having said that, are we on the timeline in which this is true for all twin flames? I'm getting a yes. Will we ever be on a timeline in which this is not true? Let's see, all right, I gotta stop that. Okay, are we ever going to be on a timeline in which this is not true? And that's a no. So from now on, this is true of all the twin flames. Everyone's going to know who everyone's twin flame is, or at least have met by January 2023. Cool. All right, good. Do you hear that, twin? You got to contact me. Oh, we got to run into each other, contact each other, at least know each other. We don't have to have a relationship immediately, although I would be okay with, starting the dating process. So, okay. This one's kind of an awkward one, but I'm very curious about this. Our bodies are less dense than they used to be before, say, 2012, okay? So before the year 2012, our bodies were more dense then, and they're less dense now. I mean, I remember having to eat like 3 meals a day, and I would have to have snacks. Like, I was constantly eating. And now I'm like 1 meal a day, and then I might have a snack. Yeah, like I fast for 12 hours to 14 hours a day. And like, even while I'm fasting, I might have coffee once or twice, but that's it. Like, I'm not even eating, very much, because I just feel like my body's less dense, and I feel like you guys are, the feedback I've gotten, you guys are feeling the same thing. So, all right. So this is a fact. Our bodies, so let me ask God though. Okay, Prime Creator, are our bodies less dense than in 2012? I'm getting a yes. All right, so collectively speaking, because some people have less body density than, like some of us are more farther along the path than others, and some of us are behind others, because we're all in a different percentage. So just collectively in general, this is so, if it says 50%, that means some of us are 25%, some of us are 75%. So hopefully you guys are understanding what I mean by that. So collectively, as a collective whole, what percentage of our bodies have we lost? Like protons, electrons, or whatever. So what percentage of our density, our physical density, have we already lost? Do I have permission to ask that? The question is yes. So from 1 to 100% scale, I'm imagining this below the pendulum. What percentage of our bodies have we actually collectively, in general, lost? Wow, this is so bizarre. It's like we've lost like 45% of our body density. Now, you might be like, if you're already a size 6, you're still a size 6, or you might have even been a size 6 in 2012 and you're a size 10 now, and you have less density, but you're still like the same size or even bigger. And that it's possible because it's just the space that was already there in between the molecules. There's just more space there. There's like less density. I don't know how to explain it, but I see it in my mind's eye. Hopefully some of you are catching it as I'm sending out the vision of what I'm having in my mind. In terms of density, have we lost more than 45% since 2012? I'm going to ask it a different way. I'm getting a no. Have we lost 45% since 2012? The answer is yes. How much more will we have to lose density-wise in order to be able to fully ascend to the 5th dimension? So this is like electrons, protons, neutrons. How many of those do we have to stave off? Like, let go of, I suppose. So, do I have permission to ask this? Okay, so, how much density do we still need to lose, or do we need to lose? Okay, let me start. I'm not asking this right. Prime Creator, from 2012 until the day we all ascend collectively fully to the 5th dimension, never to come back to the 3-day world. How much density will we have lost on the day that we fully ascend to the 5th dimension? How much of our physical bodies are we going to have to lose in order to get up there? It's starting to go. We're at 75%. I'm making my mind a blank to see if it's going to go up farther. It looks like 80%. It's holding at 80%. Is that true? So we will have to have lost 80% of our electrons, protons, and neutrons in order to. So we need to lose 80% of our density. Now, is this the same thing as losing weight or fat weight? And I'm getting a no. Should we all go on a diet? I'm getting a no. Yeah, I'm getting a no. It was a weird no. Now it's a definite no. Do we need to do anything to lose the density more than what we're already doing? I'm getting a yes. Is this shadow work? Yes. So we have to do shadow work in order to lose density? I'm getting a yes. That's what we're... Wow, so our shadow stuff is actually dense. Okay. Do we need to meditate and raise our vibration to lose density? The answer is yes. So that's what that's doing. It's helping us lose density in our body. I did not even put that together until this very second. Okay. Last question. Overall, based on today collectively, by what year will we be fully ascended into the 5th dimension, never to return back to the 3rd unless we really want to, which we probably won't want to. But overall, based on today, the way that everyone is right now collectively, by what year will we be fully ascended into the 5th dimension? Within 3 years? Wow, the answer is yes. I thought it was 4 years. Okay, so let's ask it in a different way. will all of humanity be ascended within 2 years? Will all of humanity be fully ascended into fifth dimension within... Okay, let me ask this again. Prime Creator. I want to make sure it's the universe and Prime Creator answering the question, not just some rando spirit walking by, popping the, punching in a certain direction, or a fairy just going, ha ha, having fun playing. So, Prime Creator. How many years is it going to be before we are all fully ascended? Do I have permission to ask what year it will be or how many years it will be? The answer is yes. Okay. Will we be completely and totally fully ascended 1 year from today? I'm getting a no. Will we be fully and completely collectively, Prime Creator, will all of humanity be fully and collectively fully ascended into fifth dimension within 2 years? I'm getting a no. Prime Creator, will we be fully collectively fully ascended into the fifth dimensional into the fifth dimension within 5 years of today? I'm getting a yes. Prime Creator, overall based on today, collectively, all humanity. So Prime Creator, will we all be fully ascended into fifth dimension 3 years from today? I'm getting a yes, guys, 3 years. Now, earlier I said within 4 years, but it's actually within 3 years from today. So by the year 2023, Prime Creator, will all of humans be in the fifth dimension? Yes. Will there be any stragglers in the third dimension? The answer is no. Because the walk-in program will be complete within 3 years? The answer is yes. Will the walk-in program be complete within 1 year? The answer is yes. Did I hop a timeline since I began this 53 minutes ago? Yes. I've already hopped a time. I felt like I did. I just hopped a timeline, so it changed from the beginning, and I just looked as 53 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay. Will more and more people be aware of hopping timelines as the days and weeks and years progress? I'm getting a yes. Big, big, big yes. Yeah, I just hopped a timeline again. What happens immediately when I hop a timeline is I feel confused because my normal level of anxiety just leaves for a minute. And I get like a memory wipe feeling just for a couple seconds. Even though my memory isn't wiped, it's just like a kind of a quick, clean slate sort of thing. And usually what would happen before the ascension of humanity began and the apocalypse and all that, what would happen is we would just hop a timeline and not even be aware of it. It's something we've always been doing. But I've been aware of it in the past 20 years, and I've been really aware of it in the past year when it's happening. And I've been somewhat aware of it in the past 4 years when it started happening more and more. And now I'm aware of it every time it happens. It's just, as I lose density, as I work on myself spiritually, as I work on my spiritual, getting rid of my shadow, doing my shadow work and getting rid of my negative stuff, and as I just gain in love, I am more aware of the spiritual stuff. As will you be. Well, I hope you found this a fascinating and interesting episode. I liked doing it. I like asking God questions. I mean, seriously, I've had days where I just sit and ask God questions all day long. Not that I even remember the answers. It's just, these are interesting questions, And when I go to bed at night, I will use muscle testing with my fingers, like finger testing. And I mean, sometimes I'll ask God 20 or 30 questions before I fall asleep. And it's fun to do with the pendulum. It's interesting and it's fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed these questions. I hope that it sparked your imagination and curiosity, and also set you on the right path of knowing where you need to go. We need to go get less dense. It doesn't mean dieting. It means shadow work. You do need to let go of the negative stuff and value yourself and love yourself more. Honor and respect all creatures. And yes, animals are evolving. Whoa. Things are having more of a consciousness than ever before. It's starting to get kind of freaky out there. I'm enjoying watching it, but at the same time, boy, I mean, no amount of drugs or psychedelics could ever have prepared me for what's actually happening in reality world. Oh my God. All right, well, there you go. There you have it. Woo! All right, now I'm going to go watch my robot show. I started watching this show yesterday, Better Than Us. It's a really good show out of Russia, and it raises a lot of cool ethical and moral questions. And I love this bot. I wish I had a bot like this in my life because she's just so amazing. Even though she's also a trained assassin that the Chinese made. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Better Than Us if you need a fun show to watch and just kind of wind down, and that has nothing to do with what we're going through right now. It's not a spiritual show necessarily. It's just kind of a fun ride. I like it. Anyway, all right. So that's it. I'll be back tomorrow, guys, with all unique and original programming, just like always. This is my final week, though, for season 4. So after Friday, I am going to take a 6-week break, and then I'll come back in 6 weeks, and we will get back to it, and we will do another 60 episodes for season 5. And I will end right before Christmas, where I'll take another probably 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, just depending. But in the meantime, I will be here no matter what. For those of you who need or want a reading, I could do a half-price reading for a half hour instead of a full hour, if that works out better for you. So please just contact me at mermaidgirl888, which is just my private Instagram, or you can write me at mermaidgirl888@gmail.com. So if you do want, a reading, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. If you think you might be an archangel incarnate in human form, and you want to have me ask Prime Creator, that's free. If you want me to connect you to the 5th dimensional healing grid, that's also free. Now, you can do that yourself just by saying out loud, I would like to be connected, Prime Creator, to the 5th dimensional healing grid. Thank you so much. And boom, bada boom, bada bing, you're already connected. If you don't have confidence in your abilities, please work on that. But if you want me to do it for you, just to make double sure, I will be more than happy to do that again for free. So it is what it is. All right. Contact me for any readings. And that's it, guys. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your continued confidence in me, myself, and my abilities. And I am signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy 5th dimension. Till next time. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.